Saturday, October 23rd, 2077, the Great War reached its boiling point, and the nuclear fire came. But far from the coast of California laid a oil rig, which the greatest minds that the USA can offer watched as the world ended. This is when the president and his advisors set a plan in motion to take back the wasteland. Welcome, viewers, to another video, and we'll be looking over probably one of the coolest factions in Fallout, the Enclave. Now, this is just kind of off the blue, but the Enclave is probably one of my favorite factions in Fallout. And this is just a lore video to tell you guys about the Fallout, about the Enclave, I mean. So, let's begin. The Enclave had most of its inspiration from a pre-war counterpart, the United States. They had army, a president, the Secret Service. The Enclave wanted to be the successor to the United States. Observing the wasteland, what they saw horrified them. Mutants, ghouls, raiders, beasts, and the Enclave grew to hate post-war America and made it their life mission to kill all and start anew. And they thought themselves as the last pure humans left on the planet. Pretty fucked up. So, we will be talking about the Secret Service right now. Yeah, here we go. So, the Enclave, if you guys remember the Mariposa base, probably pronouncing that wrong, but whatever. They were testing FEV there. The Enclave went there, excavated it by capturing and kidnapping civilians from America and using them for slave labor. And they tried to use FEV as a biological weapon. And they tried to make their own super soldiers. But then, instead, they made a man. They didn't make the man. They made the man that he's known for. Frank Horrigan. One of the most effective warfare tools the Enclave has ever made. Frank Horrigan was a genetically modified and exposed to the FEV, making him into a super mutant hybrid. And he was very effective at what he did. But what he did, it was pretty messy. He was under the direct control of President Dick Richardson. He was the leader of the Enclave from the beginning. Oh yeah, they also tried to weaponize death claws. They tried 2 times, and very sadly and very brutally, they failed 2 times. The first time, they tried to make smart death claws, but failed. They made them too smart, and then they escaped from the Enclave. Then they sent out the man who was known to rip he's known for this particular instance, Frank Horrigan, a Secret Service agent that the Enclave had, the guy we were just talking about. He was known for ripping a death claw in half with his bare hands. He's like kind of a super mutant behemoth hybrid. He's not all the way up there, but he is taller, stronger than a standard super mutant. And he's in power armor. Specifically made power armor for him that pumped drugs and all sorts of things into his brain that made him very hostile, but yet effective fighting tool. That's why the Enclave kept him around. So these smart these smart Deathclaws took over a vault known as Vault 13. That's where the chosen one, no, the Vault Dweller came from. And these Deathclaws, they kind of lived alongside humans because they were like extremely smart, because the Enclave somehow fucked up. I mean, Deathclaws really trying to weaponize them. Well, 7-foot tall lizards that can rip you in half. Going to go well. Anyway, so the first time they made them too smart and they took over a vault and lived alongside humans. And then they sent in Frank Horrigan. He persuaded, well, not him specifically, but his soldiers, persuaded them to open the vault doors. When the doors opened, they opened fire and killing most of the people there. The Deathclaws started to escape, but Frank Horrigan went in there and ripped them apart. Frank Horrigan is the Deathclaws' worst nightmare. That's how bad this man is. And pumping full of drugs, you can see where the, kind of most effective warfare weapon the Enclave had kind of comes from. Anyway, so they tried twice. The second time they tried with the war against the Brotherhood in DC. I believe it was their second encounter. They integrated a device into their brains that made them a little smart, but not too smart, so they can't, escape. And it did work, but the Brotherhood found a way around it and deactivated these devices, which only means blood and death for the soldiers that were around them. They were meant to replace standard soldiers in CQC, because, a normal person is not really effective at CQC. But, they were meant to replace. Then this was a plan, not the president, well, I guess the Enclave kind of made it up, but they were thinking of doing this in pre-war America. They tried to weaponize Deathclaws. They tried to make Deathclaws. Pardon me. Anyway, so yeah, they failed twice and they gave up. On to the next step. So, now we'll be talking about their weapons, armor, and ranks. Oh yeah, and they also had fuel, a plenty supply of fuel that supplied their fleet of vertibirds. That's what they're mostly famous for. So, let's start with the weapons that the Enclave army uses. Well, their most common weapons and stuff like that. There's probably more, but these are kind of the most kind of standard they have. So, they have a laser rifle, laser pistol, plasma rifle, plasma defender, incinerator, I believe. I think that's what it's called. Miniguns, plasma casters, and rocket launchers, and probably a few more. Probably they use Fatmans as well, but, it's more kind of a specialized thing. The ranks are pretty generic because they are kind of the remnants of the pre-war American government, because the president, Dick Richardson, was the pre-war president in the United States at the time, but doesn't matter. So we got General, Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel, I believe, Major, Captain, Lieutenant, Sergeant, Private, First Class. Now let's get on to the troopers. These are the actual soldiers that fight on the front lines. So we have the Enclave officer, Enclave trainee, Enclave Tesla soldiers, kind of their special forces, if you will. They're sent into the most kind of high risk kind of situations, and they have a pretty good, pretty decent set of power armor. The Tesla XO2 power armor was pretty good, but power armor we'll go on in a little bit. and we also have the Hellfire Trooper. Now these guys they have the best equipment, the best power armor known in the world at the point. They had the XO3 Hellfire power armor made post-war America. So they made this. They made the XO2 and the XO3, but I believe they didn't make the XO1 because that's kind of a it was planned to be made in pre-war America, but it didn't get to the point. They just kind of finished it. Most soldiers were equipped with power armor because the army was kind of small but extremely elite. Like a standard soldier could probably take down like multiple raider camps. You know what I mean? And they had power armor. You know, so yeah, it's pretty decent. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, they also have the standard Enclave soldier, which was kind of the filler for all of these soldiers. They sometimes wore power armor, sometimes just wore standard combat armor. But you know, it's kind of a side to side thing. They also have now we're going on to the power armor. So they had the XO1 set of power armor as their first kind of standard sets. There's also the advanced power armor, but I believe they're the same thing. They look the same. I'm just gonna say they're the same. XO1 sets of power armor. They also have the XO2, Tesla XO2, XO3 Hellfire. Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. And I believe that's where I'm going to end it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys like the kind of immersive little kind of storytelling intro. You guys want to comment down below if you would like to see more of that. I can do that for you guys. And yeah, see y'all later.